Hello and welcome to the SuperShow podcast. We're coming to you with an audio-only version today because Alex Jones got snowed in.
Yes, weather affected me badly. I apologise, everyone.
Pathetic.
Jamie, were you snowed in?
No, I wasn't. I own a snowplow because I'm prepared for these kind of situations.
Jamie's got a Mr. Plow jacket, I bet.
Big time.
Mr. Plow.
No, I was ready and willing, but there we go.
Well, look, guys, I mean, it's inevitable, right? Like, sometimes shit happens and we just got to roll with the punches. But I think the next time this happens, we'll probably have, like, webcams. All of us have webcams. So we'll figure something better out.
Yes.
But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. We are a gaming podcast, if you didn't know. And we are available on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all those good ones. Some others that I'm probably not going to mention.
What do we say? The podcast platform of your choice. Is that what people say?
Ooh, that's exactly what it is. But if you're listening on iTunes, give us 5 stars, scumbags. Anyway, if you'd like to follow us, on social media, hit us up at SuperShow Pod, which is Twitter and Instagram, and just get in touch, just say hi.
You nearly slipped up then, didn't you?
I did. I almost said all-time gaming.
You did nearly say all-time gaming.
Yeah, we had 5 years of that. I think it's forgivable.
I do too.
Hey, listen, all-time gaming was part of our DNA because our DNA is all-time gaming.
This is true, very true.
Can't shug off those X and Ys, can I? Anyway, this podcast is brought to us by patrons. That's right. We do not really monetize this. Unless listening to podcasting platforms, we're doing a monetization trial. But yes, there are kings among men and women and queens and stuff. But big shout outs to Angus McChilly, Brett Zerbrigg, Terry Spence, Tristan Harris, and the big man himself, Skylar Music. They are helping to make this podcast a reality. So thank you all.
Absolute legends.
They are helping us sit in our bedrooms, in our pants, I presume you guys are as well, recording this over the
internet. Are you in your underwear?
I thought that was one of the benefits of staying at home.
I'm naked.
I reckon that Jamie's probably still in bed.
No. I woke up super early and I had a shower and I was dressed and I was so ready to go. And I look at my phone. Is that your
weekly shower, yeah?
Bi-weekly. Let's be reasonable here.
And then I ruined
it. Phone, yeah, and Jonesy ruined it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, sorry, there's 3 millimeters of snow in Stevenage. The trains
don't live in
stop.
Stevenage.
The trains might stop.
Every time. Well, that's good, because otherwise he just would have doxed you. So anyway.
Yeah, everyone go to Stevenage and start looking for Jonesy.
Yeah, go to Stevenage. Anyway, that's good.
Guys, let's get this podcast rolling. What have you been up to?
Well, you guys know what I've been up to because the only gaming I've done has been with you boys.
This is going to be so embarrassing.
Playing.
Well, it's not embarrassing.
Sea of Thieves.
Hell yeah. We all got on that Sea of Thieves jaunt with good old Steph Murphy, the original mayo sandwich.
We did. Yeah. We got 4 of us playing on a galleon, which was pretty wicked.
It was a lot of fun. I had only played about an hour before I had played with you guys, so I was very fresh and new. And that game... It's
has its
empty,
charms,
but it's fun. Yeah, it's a weirdly charming game.
We had a bit of a bust on. We kept trying to take out one specific other boat, didn't we? And they kept sailing away from us. They just wouldn't commit. And then I think
that was the best though, because I was in the crow's nest and I was looking at these guys. I was like, they're definitely sailing away. And then Jones is going, no, they're coming right for us. And then 5 seconds later, Jonesy would say, no, they're leaving. No, they're coming for us. They're definitely coming for us.
But then it's fair to say, yeah, we have a good time playing that game, but we're not the best pirates.
We're not the best, but this is one of the things with games like that, isn't it? Is that it's a game that you make your own game with, like you play in a way that you want to play, you do what you want to do, and so sometimes it's brilliant because you get to fight other people and you plundering and all that good stuff. But then sometimes it's kind of dry, and there's not many other people to fight, and it just gets a little bit.
Yeah.
I also kind of feel that like I get what they're going with their whole kind of immersion thing where you got to go to the map and you got to hoist the sails and all that, and that's all cool, but there are definitely some quality of life things that are missing. So just markers to say where my teammates are, unless if I'm not looking directly at them.
Yes, like we lost Jamie in a boat, I think. Or no, was it Steph? And no, we did. It's Jamie, and then it was like, me, Jamie, where are you? And we basically had to try and figure out where he was by him going to an island and then going, okay, here I am. And then
I was rowing for about 15 minutes. My arms were jacked up, full of lactic acid by the end of it.
But then at the same time, I think that adds to some of the charm of the game. Like if it was all, this is where they are, then it would maybe take away some of that kind of that element of it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe a balance to be struck because, while it is definitely charming and it adds to it, there are times where you just like, I just want to get on with it. Just like you're actually impeding my enjoyment of this game now because you're just being stubborn about it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, the water mechanics on that game are pretty gorgeous.
There's a lot of really nice visuals, a lot of pretty decent physics related stuff as well. Like there's smart ideas, but I'm kind of with you guys in that I'm already feeling a little bit of boredom set in. When now the next time I look at the group WhatsApp and someone wants to set sail, I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
I guess we have to have a proper plan, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Can't just go in there and fuck around because you do that once, it's fun. You do it the second time, it starts getting a bit boring. If we have a proper plan, we'd be like, no, we got to like plunder this aisle or whatever. Like, cool.
I tried to play on my own a little bit for about an hour, and it was that was pretty dull. Not the best.
Yeah, it's
playing
definitely a team game.
Yeah, but I was gonna say even playing in multiplayer can be like if you guys wanted to jump in right now, my question I'd be asking myself at least would be, what are we gonna do? Because really all you're doing in that game is you're accumulating a currency to spend on cosmetics, and that's the only end game.
Yeah, there's not much there. I mean, they definitely need to add in some actual game elements. Like if there was not a single player campaign, but just a fleshed out campaign that you could do with a few of your mates. I think that would be. Wouldn't have to be that comprehensive.
We could lower the bar a little bit
mechanically, to get so you can buy cosmetics and stuff, but you can't buy armor that gives you different values. All the weapons are the same. Like you can get a skin for your weapon, but you've got a gun, you've got a shotgun, and you've got a sniper rifle and a sword. Like it doesn't deviate from that. If they maybe add in a few more varietal things, because
they don't want to go pay to win though. That's the problem, isn't it? Is that as soon as you do that,
it doesn't need to be. You just buy it with you buy that stuff with the in-game currency, and it's like every fucking other game ever.
Oh right, I see. Oh, fair enough. So you grind a bit and then you can buy some new shit. Yeah, for sure. For sure, you could do that.
Like I remember before Sea of Thieves came out, some people were saying, because people were asking, okay, what is this game going to be? And one of the rumors going around was that it was going to be a Destiny-like game. And I remember thinking like, oh, do we really need another one of those? But now I look at it as though, my God, they could use some of those ideas and some of those mechanics. Like Jodie was talking about a story earlier. I'll lower the bar a little bit. How about just some writing? How about more than 4 NPCs? Like, it feels a bit silly ragging on a game that's probably 4 years old at this point, just because it took us
4 years old, though, isn't it? It's like a year and a half.
I've got a browser in front of me, Chris. Okay, you both take a guess at the release date of Sea of Thieves.
I can tell you that when we went to Insomnia, not last year, the year before, they had a big Sea of Thieves bus. And
Chris,
I think it was because
I'm
it had just launched.
asking you what the release date for Sea of Thieves was.
I'm going to say 2018.
Released, because it was in early access for a while, right? You could play it, but it wasn't released.
I'm going to say was it like March 2018 or something like that?
Okay, Jonesy, what's your guess?
So let's think. So what are we in now? 2020, so 2018, I think is when we were. So it's got to be 2017.
Jonesy, you're so wrong.
What is it?
It's March 2018, okay? Let's get over it. Let's move on.
Oh, so hold on. So did I nail it completely?
I forgot what you said. I forgot what you answered. So it doesn't really matter, does it? Wow. It was an irrelevant point.
5 years old, yeah, Jamie? Yeah.
I said 4, to be fair. I said 4.
No, you said 5.
No, I said 4.
You said 5.
Okay, let's move on.
But yeah,
yes. What was your point?
What I was saying is that I'm glad we discovered it, but it's like... It feels like that's already a game that's come out and settled, and it's had a bit of steam blown up its arse, and it's had a few new things added in. Like, I don't think we're looking at it as the platform for what could potentially come in the future anymore. Sea of Thieves is Sea of Thieves now. But
remember this, when we met up, I said, you know what, for a game that's been out for as long as it has, with as many improvements as it's gotten, it still felt quite, I don't know, not buggy, it's just like maybe unpolished, I guess.
I didn't get that so much. I was actually impressed with some of the polish.
Yeah, I've had a few little bugs here and there, but nothing you wouldn't see in most online multiplayer games. Like if there's a slight lag here or there, or a slight clipping issue or something, but nothing major, nothing that buggy.
I'll put it this way: compared to another Microsoft-owned studio released game, that came out a couple of years ago and is currently on Game Pass that I played in this past week. Sea of Thieves is the most polished game in the history of video games.
Well, what was the other game that you played?
It was State of Decay 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, didn't you play that with Steph as well?
Yeah, well, basically what happened was, because obviously Sea of Thieves, as people could already tell, because it's all we talked about for the last 10 minutes, dominated our lives a little bit this past week. But Jonesy and Steph sometimes are on different schedules.
Oh, yeah.
So I played with Jonesy for about 3 hours on Sea of Thieves. Steph comes online the second Jonesy's going offline and wants to play Sea of Thieves. I just had to be honest with him and say, dude, I can't play any more of this fucking game. So we were looking at what else we could play together, and of course we realised we both had Game Pass because that's how we were playing Sea of Thieves. So we picked out another couple of co-op games. Astroneer was one, and State of Decay 2 was the other. I gave them.
Hold on, and you didn't do Age of Empires 1 or 2?
I mentioned Age of Empires. Hey, I've got Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition installed on this PC. I guess Steph was too scared to take on the RTS master that is me.
I would like to have seen how that game went down, to be fair.
Yeah, it would. Well, Steph would, I'm down.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah, we could get on it. But yeah, I was amazed that all four of us managed to find a time slot that fit everyone's schedule.
It's
Kind
rare,
of impressive
right?
for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of mad.
It shouldn't be.
Someone's opened up a drink. Who was
cracking
that?
That was me.
Oh,
Everyone get ready for Slurp City for the next 3 hours because Jonesy has a mic.
Diet Coke.
Jonesy's a mic
Diet
3
Coke,
inches away from his mouth.
You know, even though you guys aren't next to me, I got a Pacific Punch
Really?
Nice.
monster. Yeah, I got to keep the tradition going.
I respect that. I respect that. It does feel weird not being able to see your guys' faces.
Yeah.
I'm picturing you. I've drawn you like one of those French girls.
Have you recorded this whole thing with your eyes closed?
I'm licking my lips as I am. Sorry, where
okay,
we?
okay.
What? A
Well,
podcast.
steady
Yeah,
on,
okay.
steady
I'm
on.
thinking that I might Deliveroo it after this just to keep the tradition going. Just on my own.
Oh, that's not a bad shot.
I was thinking about dicing with death and going to go get a Chinese.
Oh,
dicing with death.
Well, you never know.
Why?
nowadays.
Because of coronavirus.
How do you know that one of them hasn't just come in from the Wuhan province, Chris? Can you
but hold
guarantee
on.
me that?
I think that's a bit racial.
Well-
Isn't it? Isn't that like Iran has the worst percentage of deaths from coronavirus as opposed to
Well,
China?
I don't have any local Iranian restaurant. The Iranian takeaway scene hasn't taken off in the UK, funnily enough. But I am avoiding Pizza Express until Italy get a hold on things. 'Cause my God, what is going on there?
Man,
They've had an absolute nightmare.
that whole coronavirus thing is so weird, isn't it? Like so many, like recently the GSM, which is like, what was it? Cell phones, like where they announce all the cell phones and everything. That got
right.
cancelled straight up because they were like,
Yeah.
everyone's pulled out, so it's nothing to do.
I tried to
think was it?
Oh, go on. Sorry.
That's all right. I was going to say Kojima Productions is pulled out of was it PAX?
No, it was GDC they pulled out of.
Oh, GDC, yeah.
Yeah.
In fear of coronavirus.
Basically, yeah.
Or Corvo 19, as we now are supposed to call it.
Nah, it doesn't sound as good.
I actually tried to buy some of that alcohol hand sanitizer stuff today.
Yeah.
Sold out? Sold out. Completely sold out.
Everyone's getting
Yeah,
paranoid.
all of it was sold out.
But in the UK, there's like 15 people who have been like given positive tests out of over 7,000 or something.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's like the mortality rate of this is so low.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone who's had to self-quarantine.
Really?
Well, by proxy, because so I don't know them, but I know someone who knows them, and they got back from Italy. They're on holiday, and they've been told that they should self-quarantine for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart move.
Yeah.
Keep tabs on things.
Mad. You know what's bad about that though, right? So you self-quarantine, you think, oh shit, I'm really hungry. So you call the Deliveroo driver.
Wouldn't that's not quarantine?
No, listen, yeah, it is. You know, like just slip it under the door or something. But then if
So you can
if
only
you're like-
order pizza.
yeah,
No,
it's
you-
like you're on the other side of the door. And you're like, all right, just drop the bag and step away slowly.
It's like Home Alone. You just play clips from VHS tapes and tell them to leave it on the front doorstep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Problem is,
Yeah,
if you've
kinda-
come through that door and then you've touched the handle with your Corona hand, and then they come and then they open the door and then they put the food down and then
Yeah, but this is what I was going to get at, right? So, and then that Deliveroo driver becomes fucking Agent Zero and just fucking infects everyone else when he delivers their food.
Oh yeah, because then he's delivering to loads of people.
Oh shit.
Oh, so for people that don't have it, Deliveroo is a food delivery service that you order over your phone. Anyway. So you haven't played any other games, Jonesy?
I played 20 minutes of BioShock. That was it.
Okay, so let's keep a tally here. So you still haven't finished BioShock.
I have not.
You still haven't finished Death Stranding.
I have not.
Okay,
Chris,
Jonesy,
this podcast can't be more than 2 hours. I'm really sorry. You can't go through the whole list.
And do you know, I've
fair
played about 5 hours of Sea of Thieves.
when you could have just finished, fucking hell, you could have just finished BioShock.
You could have finished a load of shit in that.
I got all hankering for piratiness. What can I say?
It's fair. It's like it's the FOMO, isn't it? It's like when everyone's like on the WhatsApp messages, the message groups. Oh, who wants to go plundering the seven seas? It's like, I'll do that.
Do you know what's terrible? Because, and this always happens to me, is so after we'd played a bit of Sea of Thieves the other day, I actually thought about going and putting a Pirates of the Caribbean film on. Oh god,
you should have. That's awesome. But speaking of finishing games, fellas.
Oh, here we go.
Dum, 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 dum,
Is it time, Chris?
Hollow Knight?
Yes,
No.
Okay. I know. I finished Last of Us.
Oh, nice. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You've got to give us the
And
lowdown.
So I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I didn't know a lot of what happened. The only thing that I didn't know from ATG and the coverage we did on it that kind of eluded me was that whole... so I knew Joel got injured, and I knew you played as Ellie, but I didn't know what happened when you played as Ellie with that other dude,
David.
Oh
and then,
shit, yeah.
Yeah, and then he and the cannibals and shit, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucked up. And then he turns out to be like a pedo. I was like, oh my god, this is going some really weird places.
To be fair, what's worse, cannibal or pedo? I think those two things are pretty close together.
Well, I'll tell you what's worse: someone who's both of them, a cannibal pedo, a pedo cannibal.
That is that. But then if someone's already cooked you, maybe if they fucked you first, doesn't that?
Wow. Yeah, you got to tenderize the meat, fellas.
Oh god.
Come on.
Like, I don't know. I don't think if someone's like, this person's a cannibal, and then you went, and they're a pedo, it's like, well, they're already a cannibal. Or maybe it's the other way around. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know which one.
I'd sooner befriend a cannibal than a pedo.
Do you know what? Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
But yeah, so there's some really, like, especially towards the end of the game, some really cool kind of cinematic set pieces, which I guess is what Naughty Dog is known for. I've started playing that Left Behind as well. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through. Like, I know it's not long.
Yeah, it's super short.
Yeah, basically, I'm at the part where I've got the super soakers, and we're going to have a shootout with the water guns.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. It's a good game. Like I stand by what I said, where I don't think it's a game of the decade, but it's definitely immersed me.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, I'm living that world at the moment. I'm looking around and everyone's fucking coughing coronavirus. In fact, it's probably couldn't have been a better time for me to play this game.
Yeah, everyone's going to turn into a clicker in front of you.
Imagine if that's why they delayed The Last of Us 2, because they came up with a literal viral marketing scheme to give everyone a disease before The Last of Us 2 comes out. They're like, push it back by 3 months, give us a bit more time to have it spread.
A little bit of a peek behind the curtain when we were working for All Time Gaming, where we got a brief saying like, hey, if you had to get given money by Naughty Dog to do some Last of Us stuff, what would you come up with? I think we probably lost out that job to someone who said, you know what, I'll just manufacture the coronavirus in China.
Yeah,
Big
they
time.
won. Successful.
Yeah.
Fair play. You know what, they got the brief.
We had some great ideas for that one as well.
We had some fucking
we had
amazing
great
ideas.
ideas for every single brief we ever got, because we're geniuses.
We are.
And that's why we got every brief.
Ballers.
That's why this year, keep an eye out for our Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs Legion, and Last of Us 2 promos and sponsored videos and all that good stuff.
I wish, my dudes. But Jonesy, you asked me about Hollow Knight.
I did.
So I could have finished Hollow Knight, I reckon, if I'd gone down the bad ending. Okay. But I actually haven't done any of it because I'm going to South Africa next week for 10 days.
Yeah.
And I figured, you know what, let me not finish Hollow Knight and let me do the long version of the ending in South, like on the plane and in South Africa, because it's like a 12-hour flight, and
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, so I could have done it, but I've deferred it, which I think is fair, and
Fair
that's
enough.
probably why I had time to jump on Sea of Thieves.
Cool.
Yeah, but there is something else that I think Jamie kind of gets into as well. But I saw Sonic the other day, yesterday, in fact.
Yes, yes, with Jim Carrey.
Yes,
Dr.
Jim Carrey
Robotnik.
and James Marsden. Was it
Mr.
James Marsden?
It was James Marsden.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But Jamie, you saw it as well, didn't you?
I did indeed, yes.
You want to ring out your thoughts there?
I think I heard your reaction to it before I actually saw it myself, and I think you and me are both on the exact same page with this one, which it is a perfectly serviceable and occasionally fun and occasionally even funny kids movie. But at the end of the day, it is a movie for kids. It's like a family film. And there are a few times where, especially Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik, I thought, wow, he could have taken that a bit further. Like, he's putting a lot of energy into this, but the jokes aren't landing. And then I realised, well, that's because he's playing to a PG audience. And I suppose he can't maybe let it completely loose. But otherwise, it was fun. There are some chuckles. There are some decent action sequences and set pieces. And it just kind of like ticks along at a nice pace, so it's pretty harmless.
Yeah, it's like looking back at the plot, looking back at the plot to the story, Jonesy. It's like, man, it's so simple. It's like an ABC movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, go here, do that, and then that happens.
I suppose it's a kids'
like,
film, right? So it needs to be pretty much like that.
Yeah, exactly. They're not overcomplicating things. They're not reinventing any kind of wheels, and it's fine. It's got some nods to fans of the Sonic. They even had a crazy dude who says he saw Sonic and no one believes him, and he holds up a drawing that he made, and it's the Sonic drawing, which I thought was quite a nice little touch.
I do like things like that.
Yeah, there are a few smart things.
It's done really well at the box office, though, right? It's actually doing a lot better than people thought it was going to do.
Yeah, it's still fucking smashing it. But hey, surprise, surprise. Do a video game adaptation and just don't try and do anything fucking weird with it and just try and give the fans what you think that they'd want.
Chris, they tried.
Which is actually hilarious when you remember all of that sort of like the rage about how Sonic was going to look back in the day. Yeah. So before they changed it, because I genuinely think that if they hadn't have changed the design for Sonic, I think they could have ended up with a massive flop. But changed it. They went with the fans, and then it's done really well. So who knew?
I think it's good. I do have a confession to make though, in that I did fall asleep during the movie.
Which bit did you fall asleep during?
Well, he doesn't know because he was asleep.
Okay, what was the last thing you remember seeing?
Or the first.
It was the bit where they're in the car and they're getting chased by Dr. Robotnik, and then the drones cut off the top of the car.
Right. And
it was like that because like when you fall asleep in the cinema, you kind of like your head bobs up and you wake up for a bit and you fall back asleep.
Yeah. Well, no.
Do you know what? I wouldn't know. I've never fallen asleep in the cinema.
I was going to say, actually, the only time I've fallen asleep in the cinema, I fell asleep in the cinema, like from 20 minutes in till the credits.
Oh my God. Did you do your like warthog snoring?
No, because I wasn't fat then.
It
was Rush Hour 3. Rush Hour 3.
Right.
And the context was not that Rush Hour 3 is a bad movie, it was just that I hadn't slept at all. So got to the cinema, made it 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, can I tell you why I think I fell asleep yesterday? I went into the cinema. I went the very first showing of the cinema that happened that day, which was 10:15 a.m., okay? And I was the only person in that fucking cinema, and it was freezing. So I had to, I put on my jacket, I put on my scarf, and then I got all nice and cozy, and it's dark and it's cozy, and I'm like, I could just drift off now.
I kind of love it though when you've got a cinema all to yourself. I genuinely love that.
Yeah, I get where Chris is coming from, except that description of the environment you were in omits the fact that you were sat 10 feet away from a giant screen blasting sound and light into your ears and eyes.
No, but you know what the thing with the Sonic movie is like everything happens. It's such a. It's going to sound weird for a movie about a really fast hedgehog, but everything in that movie, tonally and structurally, happens at such a pedestrian pace that I'm like, okay.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought that it ticked along at a really nice pace to such a point that like it never hung around for too long in any one place, and there's no consequences at all. Like, of all the trouble that they kind of get into, as many close calls as they have, this is an absolutely consequenceless film. where nothing goes wrong.
But maybe that's what just kind of like it just didn't engage me as much. So as soon as my brain said, you know what, you're getting quite comfy and cozy, you might as well nod off. That nothing was kind of like hitting my brain saying, actually you got to pay attention here.
That makes sense. I think there was enough there for Sonic fans though as well. Like I'd like to think that the character was handled with enough care and there were enough references and teases. There are two particular moments, Chris, you'd have seen towards the end. Yeah. One just before the credits and one mid-credits that are like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Yeah, that's cool. Even at the beginning, I don't know if you noticed. Sorry, Jonesy, you're just like,
no,
smiling and nodding.
I'm loving it. I'm getting the full-fledged review of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's good.
But at the very beginning, where it kind of sets up where Sonic is from, etc., there's a tribe that kind of attacks Sonic.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, they are echidnas. They are Knuckles.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite funny because were they trying to do like a Ugandan Knuckles kind of thing?
I didn't interpret it that way. I thought it was just sort of, hey, echidnas exist in this universe. Which I guess they lay down the fact that everything could exist in that universe because that's the point, is that they can travel to anywhere in that universe using the rings.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine film. Like Jonesy, like take your kids to go see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I might take the big one. He might enjoy it, actually. So
it's the big one, yeah.
No, I've got the little one. Can't go yet. He just get bored after 10 minutes, and then he just start yelling, and then everyone else is going to be like, "I'm out."
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But it's only I think it's an hour and a half long as well, so I think it's a pretty good length for that sort of film. Like you don't want it too long. To take kids to.
It doesn't drag.
Yeah, and not a single swear word in it, which I was checking out for.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think, am I right in saying that there was one of them says "son of a" and then gets cut off?
Yes, yeah, and I think that was like as far as it ever went because I remember sometimes I'd be watching some of these movies, like these like kids-rated films, but they'd be like, oh yeah, you're like a PG-10 or whatever, so you're allowed to throw in one swear word, like a shit or something.
Yeah,
and then it always kind of seems very, because it's only one swear word in the whole film, and it always kind of seems a bit off when they do it.
Why bother?
So always kind of like, I went into Sonic, I was like, oh, where's the shit going to come in? And it never came.
Where's the shit?
There is a reference to poo, though.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, so there's that kind of shit. For any scat fans out there in our audience. I don't know, it might be
the Jamie fans, in other words. Jamie, anything else? Play anything else? Do anything else?
There was the kind of the Game Pass stuff that we talked about earlier. That was the best part of my week. I went back and finished My Friend Pedro, which I'd had on my list for a little while, and finally got that done. But nothing super important to add to that. I think
that's a fun game.
It's fun, but it ended as soon as it should have, and I don't want to go back to it.
Okay,
it's like the best version of the Matrix I've ever played in video game form, but that's about all it's got going for it, in my opinion. And some of the platforming,
one trick pony, isn't it?
Yes. And I also played a little bit of F1 2019 for some. Well, I know why.
Because you don't have 2020.
No, because I'm going to get sidetracked now, so I won't talk about this for too long. But I binge watched a series for the first time, not ever, but first time in a long, long time.
Yes, Jamie.
I know.
What you mean?
It was called.
What is it?
It was called F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix. Series 1 of which came out around this time last year, and season 2 of which comes out tomorrow as we're recording this. Friday the 28th.
Is it like fiction?
No. It's like a documentary series about. Season 1 was about the 2018 season of the Formula 1.
Oh, okay. That sounds kind of interesting. I might have to check that out.
Honestly, it's super interesting, and also it's just very watchable because the episodes are half an hour long, and there's 10 of them.
Nice.
So they kind of just fly by. And it kind of goes through the season in chronological order and sort of picks up and puts down different story threads. What's interesting about it, though, is Ferrari, Mercedes, Hamilton, Vettel, the things that you'd expect to be the focus, barely even mentioned. They are a footnote.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's really about like the middle order and what situations various teams are in. What the stories in 2018, which are like the battle between Haas and Renault, all the shit surrounding Force India and their owner, McLaren and Williams, and how they were really struggling. It's super interesting. But to go back to games, the thing that I ended up doing, because I was thinking yesterday how I was going to have to come on here and talk about games today, and I felt a little bit disappointed that I didn't have anything new or recent to add. So Sea
of Thieves, baby.
That classic. Hot, relevant game, Sea of Thieves. I picked up the remaster of Vanquish that came out.
I still need to get that. I haven't got it yet. But
Hell yeah. So I've played a couple of hours of Vanquish, and it turns out Vanquish is still fucking good.
I'm glad to hear that because, like you said, I haven't played the remaster yet, but I'm fully intending to. And that was such a good game that I'm glad to hear that it's still very playable.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all got to play it because we want to do that retrospective video, right?
Yes, retrospective on Vanquish.
I guess Jamie's the lead on that one.
Oh, no pressure. Yeah, it's interesting. I want to say it runs at on a PS4 Pro at least 1440p and 60 frames a second. So it's nice and smooth, especially compared to how it ran on the last generation of consoles. And
if we do a retrospective, we should do like a side-by-side comparison of how the old one ran and how the new one looks. That'd be great.
I mean, that already exists on YouTube.
But we should do it as well, okay? We should do it
2 months later than everyone else.
But in our video, just steal it from someone else.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, that's me really.
Speaking of series, I've started watching a series. I'm about halfway through.
Oh yeah.
I've started watching Mythic Quest: Raven's Banquet.
What's that?
That is was it Rob McElhenney? Is that his name?
I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but yeah, Mac from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
And it's his Apple TV Plus show about game developers. Made in conjunction with Ubisoft, of all people.
Yeah, do you remember it from E3, Jonesy?
Yes,
I know you
say it.
slept through most of E3 while we were working.
Oh, excuse me. Jesus. I don't remember you walking around LA downtown at like 3 a.m. with like $2,000 worth of kit on your back.
Wait, when did you do that?
When I came to your hotel to do the do you remember we were doing uploads? And
I'm talking about last year.
Oh, last year?
We live streamed it all.
So, all right.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, no,
shit.
we don't talk about Hele anymore.
I thought you were talking about Hele.
No, I wasn't slagging you off for Hele.
No, I do. I remember. I think I remember you guys talking about this from E3, but I didn't realize it'd come out or anything. But yeah, because I remember the Wits talking about the fact it was going to be from Ubisoft. So did you say it's only available on Apple TV? Or app?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's say that. Yeah.
What?
But yeah,
he's talking about piracy.
Oh, sorry, I was totally slow on the uptake.
You idiot. No, the only piracy we're talking about on this podcast is
Sea of Thieves,
fellas.
Oh, right, yeah. Tell me more about how you've already seen all of The Mandalorian, Chris.
Because he's got the Disney. He's got the Disney thing.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah. I paid £60 for Disney Plus for a year. What do you?
Yeah, the Disney Plus that isn't out yet in the UK.
Hey, listen.
He's South African, Jamie. Come on.
Yeah, it's called NordVPN.
Oh, well, okay. To be fair, that's fair.
That's a free plug for Nord. There, they love giving people money as well. So, NordVPN representatives, if you happen to be listening to this podcast,
please sponsor us.
Well, I'm already sponsoring you, so that's the least you could do for us.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, yeah, Mythic Quest it's really fucking good. Actually, it's really good.
Is it funny? I guess because if Mac's doing it.
It is funny. You know, I'll say some of the acting from some of the actors is quite flat, but overall the story is very interesting and engaging, and it is funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it got decent reviews.
Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So like I said, I'm halfway through. I think I finished maybe a little bit more than halfway through. I think I finished episode 6 of 9.
And F. Murray Abraham's in it.
Yeah,
one of the best actors of all time.
His character is really good. I was watching it with my wife, and I said, "Oh, hold on a second. Wasn't he in Amadeus? Wasn't he Salieri?"
Yes.
And she just looked at me and she goes, "What?"
Yeah, do you know what? I have no idea who you're talking about or what these roles are.
This is mental. So I turned to my wife and I said, "Have you uncultured swine? Have you never watched Amadeus?"
No, I haven't either. I'm totally with your wife.
And she goes, "No, what's it about?" And she says, "And don't say Mozart." I was like, "Well, it's actually about fucking Mozart. Like, what do you want me to say?" But Jonesy, do yourself a favor. It's a great film. It's really fucking good.
Okay. But Amadeus was one of the films my dad borderline made me watch when I was growing up, and so I've always had a big soft spot for it.
Oh, nice.
It used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore. Let me check for you.
Oh yeah, I'd be very keen to watch it again actually with my wife.
It's quite long,
like,
but
she's not going to watch it with you now, dude. You've sealed the deal on that.
Yeah, Jesus.
She's like, I'm out.
Nah, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, look, should we move on to some news stuff then?
Yes.
Yeah.
While Jamie looks up whether Amadeus is on Netflix or
Amadeus. It's not.
not. Okay. Cool.
You're
Dr.
going to
Zayas.
have to buy it.
Shit. Okay, so I guess the biggest piece of news was all of the Xbox news
Yeah,
coming out
definitely,
in terms of like, a far cry difference from what we've heard from PlayStation. Because PlayStation not said much since that, was it a fucking Wired interview or whatever, or like last year?
Yeah.
yes. Well, we got a few tasty details, but no, they've kept their bit stum at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. But Xbox, Microsoft, kind of going the opposite direction for a change. And they've given up a whole bunch of details, some really interesting stuff. Yeah, let me go through some of the boring stuff and then we'll go into the more interesting stuff, all right? So they said it's a 12 teraflop system, which is, graphical power, however you want to say it, pushing all those 4K pixels. It's basically really fucking strong.
So 12 teraflops is twice as much as an Xbox One X and 8 times as much as an Xbox One.
Yes, which
and
is pretty
2 teraflops more than Google Stadia's maximum claim.
Oh,
Which is fucking, considering their whole pitch was around, we've got supercomputers you can play our games on. That's pretty damning.
And then Microsoft's like, oh yeah, you can buy this fucking supercomputer.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Stadia can't get a break, can they?
Nah.
Bless them.
It's got something called variable rate shading, which I don't even know what that fucking means. They've got hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing built into the machine.
Which
a custom built SSD, so I guess the ray tracing and the SSD stuff is kind of between the two platforms where they said, hey, Sony's got this, Microsoft's got this.
Yeah.
What Sony has been, what Microsoft has been touting though is quick resume on multiple games. So we kind of have it on PlayStation and Xbox at the moment, and we definitely have it on Switch, but it's only for one game, right? Where you can exit the game and it creates a save state.
Yes.
And you can go back into that game and just pick up. But what they're saying is now you could have multiple games on at the same time and flip between them, and it'll be a quick resume for either one. So let's say I could be playing Sekiro, trying to finish that off, and then I could go over to Hollow Knight, try and finish that off, blah, 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 blah. It's pretty cool. What's nice is they said that even if the system goes through a firmware update, you'll still be able to resume those games after the update.
They haven't said how many is a multiple, though, right? They've just said multiple.
No.
They've just said multiple, and they haven't said how. I would imagine that the save states are probably saved in the cloud.
Right.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. But then, is it even a save state? Because when I do it on the Xbox One X now, it doesn't feel like a save state. It feels like that game was just fucking running.
Yeah. But it is a save state. It almost takes like a still image, as it were.
Yeah.
And just holds it for you,
Yeah. I think,
but there's some other, I don't know. There's some interesting stuff here. Okay, do you want to talk more about the save state stuff?
No, I was going to add that I think it was Major Nelson was on a podcast or something like that in the last week or so, talking specifically about the quick resume stuff, because it sounds like he's already personally testing it on whichever version of this console he has, for obviously a very early dev version, and that was where the claim came from. So if he's already doing stuff like that successfully, and obviously they're still working, finalizing the stuff, it bodes well.
Yeah,
I love that. That for me is a like so nice when you can just sort of hop out and hop in and not have to go through all the friggin' malarkey of booting up, loading, blah 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 blah. So I'm all over it. And the multiple games thing, hell yeah, we all have multiple. We all like to play more than one game at a time these days. So definitely,
hell yeah,
yeah.
So some other stuff that they're talking about is dynamic latency input, HDMI 2.1, auto low latency mode, variable refresh rate, which is something that they've been doing for a while on Xbox, and 120 FPS support, which is pretty good. But the most interesting thing, and this actually was highlighted by CD Projekt Red themselves. So they've got this thing called Smart Delivery, right? Which basically says, hey, it doesn't matter what console you're on or how you're playing our games, you are going to get the best version for your console, right? And so what Cyberpunk, or CD Projekt Red said for Cyberpunk is, hey, if you buy the game on Xbox One, and this is their wording, you get a free upgrade to the Xbox Series X version of the game.
Yes, because the way it sounds like it's supposed to work, right, is that it doesn't matter. It's also like, I guess, future-proof in some sense, is so that, like you said, you can have the game before it even comes out, and then when it comes out, they're going to go, oh, we know that you've got this system. Which, I mean, how is that not a thing that Sony are doing as well? Like, do you know what I mean?
It has to be. They would not let Microsoft get away with doing that. You know,
I don't know, dude. Sony haven't said anything. Sony haven't said that that's going to happen. They haven't talked about it. They've talked about backwards compatibility, but they haven't talked about smart updates. So I don't know, man.
Well, what they have said is, I mean, we've kind of theorized this ad nauseum at this stage. Almost probably like the past 3 podcasts we've been talking about, but now it's like an actual confirmation. All that Sony has said is, that their launch title games for the PS5 are going to be available on PS4 as well. So maybe that's a roundabout way of saying a similar thing.
Yeah.
But this is nice because this is Microsoft kind of committing to saying, hey, from a console system, like a console level, this is what we are recommending to developers to do.
Yeah.
The difference for me, though, is like, so we talked about Sony dropping games that will work on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. But for me, that could easily be a game that is developed for the PlayStation 4, like, on the Pro, whatever, that has HDR, is 4K, that works on a 5 and is slick and smooth and everything, but actually it's the same game. But what this is suggesting, obviously, is that there are games that are going to have extra development time put into them to produce these upgrade packs or whatever that go hand in hand with them. I do think those are 2 different things that Sony haven't really talked about yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jamie had a very interesting point in one of our WhatsApp chats. Jamie, I'm sure you're going to jump in there.
Well, I think it kind of tacks into what Josie was saying just then as well, which is that I think CD Projekt Red have almost muddied the waters in some way with the terminology of, what did they exactly say?
Upgrade.
It's just the word upgrade. Like, I understand Microsoft committing to the idea that, especially with services like Game Pass, that, hey, you buy Halo Infinite, or that it's going to be on Xbox One, it's going to be on Series X, it's going to work across the S, the X, because they're the one out there with all these different models. They're the ones that are blurring the lines between the generations, unlike Sony, who are like, there's a PS4 and here's a PS5. Obviously, there was a Pro in the middle, but Sony seem like they're going a lot more sort of hard and fast with it. I think what it introduces when you have this idea of an upgrade is there variation on the nature of the upgrade? Because we've seen already with things like boost mode on the PS4 Pro and some of the what the Xbox One X does, especially to backwards compatibility titles, that things like bumps in resolution, uncapped frame rates for improved performance and things like that, they're not new. So is CD Projekt Red talking about a patch that just, ups the frame rate and uncaps the frame rate and ups the resolution? Or are they talking about one of the things you said in our chats prior, Chris? Are they talking about texture packs? Are they talking about this, that, or the other? Are they talking about downloading a whole new version of the executable that is designed to take more advantage of the CPU and run better at a system level? Like, they haven't made that clear, and that's frustrating because what it leaves the door open for is variation in the amount of work that developers put into these quote-unquote upgrades. And I think...
Well, you see, sorry, Jamie, you say that, but coming from a long-term PC background, it's not much different, is it? Because if I buy a game that runs on a GTX 860, or let's say an 880, and it can still run on a 1060, it can still run on a 2060, those are technically different generations, but all it is that when you make the game, you just say, hey, it's almost like you're broadening your scope of options.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's like, development for consoles is now more akin to what it was like to developing for PCs, and that you're making a game that is scalable on a multiple different sort of like levels.
I think it's literally just that, because even when I was playing Control, even though I don't have an RTX, I've got a 1060 in my laptop. I could still put on ray tracing, okay, even though my card's not made for ray tracing. But the point is that the options are there within the system file.
Yeah,
right.
Or the system settings. So it's probably going to be the same thing. You're gonna load up Cyberpunk, and if you're on a PS4, you'll have low res, medium res, high res maybe, and then if you've got a PS5, it'll be ultra res and fucking mythic res or whatever. That's just the way I kind of look at it.
There's a few little wrinkles there, right? Because, for example, talk about the PlayStation 5 versus the 4. So I remember Insomniac were talking about the reason the swing speed on Spider-Man was there was a certain rate that you could go at and you couldn't go any faster, was because that was the rate at which the hard drive could write the city in.
Oh yeah,
front of you.
right.
Yeah.
So then you get to a weird point with when you get to Spider-Man 2, if they're making a game which is supposed to be works on the 4, works on the, like if Sony went the same way the Xbox are going, would they make a game that works on the 4 and the 5 so you get your swing speed capped at what the 4 can handle, even though you've got the SSD in the 5, because that's like a fundamental mechanic of the game, which is different.
That's very interesting.
That's a very good question. I guess like maybe not necessarily the swing distance, but I would imagine that like draw distances and stuff like that would vastly differ between the versions. But yeah, if it's like a mechanic that is tied to actual hardware, that's maybe harder to kind of
like, I wonder how they're gonna do that. So then you do end up with games becoming different on different systems.
And you also get into a weird situation. This is something else we were talking about when we were discussing this midweek, and that's that. Let's say we look towards Chris's sort of interpretation of this setup for a moment, and these ideas that games now might be designed in the same way they were for PC, in that almost like internally they are scalable in so many different ways, like the type of anti-aliasing they use or the resolution they run at, that stuff can be changed on the fly depending on which console you play on. I still don't see certain publishers being incentivized to support this setup. And I think the example I used was FIFA. FIFA 21 will come out in September. Now that's going to be, let's call it 2 months before the next generation of consoles. Are EA, of all people, going to start getting behind this idea of, we're going to patch FIFA 21 so that you bought it on PS4, you don't have to buy it again on PS5? I'd love that to be the case, but I can't be confident that the EAs and Activisions of the world will do that, as opposed to having the game be sold twice.
Yeah. It's also interesting when you look at like GTA 5 and Last of Us, which we use as an example a lot for crossover from 3 to 4, because they made a buttload of money because people would have bought those games again. Like they wanted to play them on the faster system, new system.
And the one thing we know about FIFA players is they will buy any version of that game every single year.
Guess what I did 7 years ago? I bought FIFA on the PlayStation 3 and then I bought FIFA on the PlayStation 4 2 months apart, because that's what you had to do. And you could argue that, I'm not saying this is a good thing, I'm not saying we should accept this, but they've spent the last 7 years making us believe that we need to buy games we already own again. And are they
and they've gotten pretty good at it.
And one could even go as far as to speculate is that the reason Microsoft are out there screaming from the rooftops and that everyone else is staying silent is because Microsoft are in a position where they're second best, arguably even third best, depending on which markets they consider themselves a part of and how much they see the Switch and Nintendo as rivals. They're the people that have got ground to make up. They're the people that have a reason to say, look at us, look at all the kind, consumer-friendly things we're doing. I think that people who are comfortable with the gaming scene at the moment, so PlayStation, because obviously the PlayStation 4 was the best-selling console of the generation, and other developers and publishers that are seeing sales at the levels they want, they're probably sat there twiddling their thumbs with their mouths shut saying, why the fuck are Microsoft doing all this shit? We were making so much fucking money and they're out here doing all this nice shit. And then CD Projekt Red, who we already know are not profits orientated, they're out there being like, yeah, this is great. And Activision and EA and are just like, why the fuck? We don't want to fucking do it. We want to sell the game twice. What are they talking about?
I guess at the end of the day, it's going to be up to whoever makes the games, right? Like you said, I think it's going to be on them to decide how they do it, how they sell it. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, until we get to the point where it makes sense for developers to only focus on the next generation of games, the next generation of hardware, I should say, then there probably will be exactly what you're saying, Jonesy. Like, different games are going to work in different ways. We're going to have the CD Projekt Reds of the world who support games regardless of which platform you get them on. You only have to buy it once. And then the EAs of the world that want you to own, every version of every game on every platform.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Let's move on to the next little segment here, which is Platinum are in the news.
The big
because
P.
they've got a whole bunch of really cool announcements. So you talk about like Vanquish and obviously Bayonetta as well.
Yes.
Platinum are a rock solid developer. Really like their stuff. They have announced a new studio is going to be set up in Tokyo that will focus on titles that are going to be considered games as a service. So that's an interesting one, like a platinum games as a service.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be cool. Could also be absolute trash.
It's something they've never focused on before, and I can see why they want to move into that market. I hope that this is happening alongside the wider expansion of Platinum, so that we keep getting the Platinum we know, and this is kind of a bonus.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why they're setting up another studio for it, rather than saying, "Hey, we're going to handle it ourselves."
Yeah, don't want to risk their good name just in case.
Yeah. The other thing is that I think they had codenamed it like Project 4, and now they've released some more info on it and a sweet looking trailer, and now they've called it Project GG.
I don't like that.
Well, Project GG is not going to be its name, is it?
Working title,
but what's
a dodgy working title.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this is it's a game that is entirely developed by Platinum. Like, I think it's being published by them. No other hands are going to touch this game other than Platinum hands, which will be an interesting thing to see. Like, hey, is the Platinum secret sauce entirely their own?
Yes.
But anyway, this game, it looks like a kind of like a kaiju fighter. So like big monsters, almost like a Ultraman style, where you have this hero and you're fighting all these monsters in the town, like Godzilla style, and the city like crumbles around you.
That sounds cool.
Yes.
Like you tell me that, and you tell me that game is being developed by Platinum, and I can do nothing except by looking forward to it.
It's also being headed up, I believe, by Hideki Kamiya, who made his name back in the day with like Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 2. But since then, with working with Capcom and now Platinum, he was Beautiful Joe, Okami, Bayonetta, and of course, Wonderful 101. And I want to say there was even some implication that this Project GG is like the completion of what they see as a trilogy that was Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, and now this.
Oh, right.
Yes, and I think it's like, they called it like the Hero Trilogy or something.
Yeah.
But speaking about Wonderful 101, it is being remastered, as we know, PS4, Switch, and PC, but it now has a release date, fellas.
Yes.
May 19th for the States, May 22nd for a European Union, so God knows when Britain's going to get it. And weirdly enough, June 11th for the Japanese market.
I don't know. I don't understand that one. Why they have to wait the longest for a game
might be some kind of a certification thing. I don't know.
I think it's also strange that game like was being kickstarted this month and now is coming out in less than 3 months' time.
Wow.
I think it adds more.
It's almost like they made it and they're like, you know what? We could probably just get some money from it by just asking people to pay for it.
I think it was exactly that. I think this was something they were already probably in the process of doing. In fact, definitely in the process of doing. And it was like the Kickstarter was the cherry on top.
They're not going to remaster an entire game in a month.
Come on. No, exactly.
If they just really want to crunch super hard, they're like, we've got a month. It'll be fun, guys. Come on, let's do it.
They just did the cheating version of remaster. It's basically the video equivalent of like having a 720p export. So you just create a 1080p sequence and scale it up.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It's funny. I was listening to the podcast we recorded last week, and we were talking about like all those things we used to do as editors, where all the changes would come in.
Yes,
and we'd hate to do the changes because it'd be like, oh, change this to green, and then someone will say, no, change it back to purple, blah, blah, blah. One thing that I remembered that I've got to say then, but actually relates to this, right? When I was editing All Time 10s, before we had voiceovers, and we just had text on screen, you'll probably remember this, Jonesy.
Yeah.
And John Babb would be like, oh, yeah, I think this is quite
Jamie, you were still at school.
Yeah, this was before your era.
I was the first voice to do voiceovers in All Time 10s. Of course, I remember when they were.
This is pre-voiceover.
Yeah, so how would I not remember pre-voiceover if I was the first person to do a voice for? Never mind.
What? We started this. We started it in 2010, mate. How old were you in 2010?
17.
Yeah, like 6 years old.
Yes,
17?
you were at school.
I started at DV when I was 20. It was 3 years later.
Anyway, go on, Chris. What were you saying?
And John Babb famously would say, this is really good, but it's a little bit too long. Because at that stage, videos weren't about 10 minutes on YouTube. Videos were meant to be like, hey, as quick as you can get it with, but as comfortable as possible. So we were always aiming for like the 3 to 4 minute range.
Sure, yeah.
Bad Boys used to say to me, yeah, it's really good, but could we just, it just maybe needs to be like 10% faster. So
I know,
like,
sure.
exactly
what you're going to say.
Yeah. So I said, sure, no problem. So I'd nest the entire sequence of my edit and then I'd just time warp it to be 10%, go 10% faster, like done.
Rate stretch tool and just drag that sucker to exactly how long they want it and be like, there you go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why does this music sound a little bit weird? No, it doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah, if you had a little bit of time, you might do some pitch correction. But yeah, anyway, that's a bit of a editing nerd anecdotes for you. But yeah, so I wonder if that's like they did that. They just took, like you said, they took the whole project, just said, yeah, just put in a 1080p project and pop.
Basically.
And they've used one of those AI programs that can like up-res stuff, but you get some really weird things come out of it, and they're just like dumped that on the whole game. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but then they like someone forgets that they still had deep fake running, so you get like Scarlett Johansson like naked in Wonderful 101.
Jeez Louise.
Madness.
Might buy it now.
Who wouldn't? Okay, let's see what else. There's been a Diablo 4 update, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting because, Blizzard being in the state, the sorry state that they are in. But they are now going to be releasing, apparently, quarterly updates on the game where they kind of have taken feedback. So they took feedback from BlizzCon, people getting their hands on the games, and they just covered a few things. So they've created new item icons, the overall thinking of how they're going to do the item design, new inventory layouts. You can rebind, left click, all this fucking bullshit thing. Action bar can be moved to the bottom center or left bottom of the screen on PC, and it's got controller support. It's not very interesting, but I guess I guess what's good about it is the transparency that they're going with it.
Yeah, that's nice. They're listening, I suppose, and they're trying to make changes that,
Oh, God.
But do you know what? Diablo 3 was my first and last outing with Diablo games, so it's...
Wow.
Oh, man.
I guess, it's nice, and I suppose you're right, the transparency is a good thing. Like, I was almost a little bit surprised to see it. I didn't know this was something they were planning on doing. And it's nice to know that, like, it reminds you, hey, this game still exists, it's still in development, and this is how it's getting on. But at the same time, considering Diablo 3 was ported to every console under the sun, confirming controller support for Diablo 4, it's like, well, it wasn't going to not have it, you numpty. Like,
no, but I guess I think they're saying controller support on PC.
Yeah, but again, like, it's 2020.
Yeah, like as Jamie said, you'd be a bit fucked off if like you could play it on the Switch, but you can't play it on a controller on your PC. You'd be like,
I just kind of feel that like they really like this stuff it's like I said, it's great, but it's also so pointless. It's like you might as well tell me that you've changed the barbarian's eyebrow design. Like, who gives a shit?
Right.
Do you know what it reminds me a little bit of is like we've often talked about working on YouTube when you'll get comments on videos and there'll be like one comment saying one thing but kind of bugs you because it's something that maybe you thought of at the time.
Oh yeah.
And then you change something when you do it again purely based on like 100,000 views on a video, but you change one thing. I wonder if they've had some feedback and there's just like one dude or so one girl has said like this thing and like, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Blizzard are so kind of like worried for their public perception, or maybe not because they keep on fucking up. Who knows? But I think this is them kind of trying to say like, oh look, we're listening to our fans, and I think Diablo 4 is in a bit of a difficult position because obviously Path of Exile 2 was announced. It looks really fucking cool, and it's called Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. Or some shit on Steam.
Super hot right now. So hot
That's
right
become
now.
Like, so hot right now. That's become like a fucking bestseller. I really want. I'm like chomping at the bit to actually get on it. But yeah, I think it's not like Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 to an extent. When those games came out, they didn't really have a lot of competition.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of the genre that they kind of were in. But now it's like, yeah, you've got these two massive games that have come out, and Diablo is like, oh, we're still a thing.
You can rebind left click. Come on, guys, come play our game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least it proved that they can still make really good cinematic trailers, because I've gone back and rewatched the Diablo 4 cinematic trailer
it's
like
so
a couple
good.
of times now. I still really like it.
It's so good. Like that whole thing with I can't remember what her name's meant to be, but the demon lady that comes out of that fucking sheet of blood, it looks so fucking cool.
And it ends up being like a big cape for her almost.
Yeah, like cinematically, fucking hell. But that's why does it seem that is the only part of that company that is still doing shit right.
I don't know. Maybe it's the only
Probably
part of
because
the
they
company.
outsource it.
Well, they don't. Or maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's because it's the one thing that they don't outsource that it's actually
Or
doing well.
one part of the company that hasn't seen an exodus of formerly key talent.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Interesting. Another game that, back in the day had... not game, a developer that back in the day was really well known is Harmonix.
Oh, yeah. Very close to my heart, Harmonix.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Which was your favorite Harmonix title?
I mean, I'm gonna go boring, and I'm gonna say Guitar Hero 2. Sure, let's say Guitar Hero. Well, because Guitar Hero 2 was the one I had the first Guitar Hero on the PS2. Guitar Hero 2 was also a PS2 game, but then they released a 360 version with the Gibson Explorer guitar in white.
Oh,
and that was the first one I could get at my mum's house, which is where I did most of my gaming. And I enjoyed playing those tunes. It was the first one with Freebird on it. A classic game, GH2.
Yeah. So Harmonix has come out with a new game. They released the trailer for it. Not much info. They are calling it... So it's a game called Fuser. And it's what they say, a non-stop virtual music festival where you control the music. And it seems like a little bit of like, I don't know, like rock band, but not really... mixed with like DJ Hero kind of stuff.
So it seems like it's going to have a load of music. Like I think they've said it's going to have over 100 tracks at launch. And it seems like you pick and choose different songs and form a playlist, which you then mix together. And there's a gameplay element, but apparently it's also just as much about kind of the sharing element. I don't know how they're going to factor that into it, because it's not like something like Dreams where you can say, hey, you're making stuff and you're playing stuff. Like, there's only so many times you can hear other people's mixes of the same pre-chosen sets of songs.
Yeah, like 100 tracks.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds kind of... I don't know. Okay. Does this sound like... I've never played DJ Hero, but I imagine that's that's all you do in that, right? It's just
the thing,
DJ Hero is quality.
Right, and the thing is with DJ Hero is that DJ Hero and Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all of them, they had a peripheral with them, and you were playing a rhythm game. And they've said this time, they haven't said whether or not there'll be one, but they've confirmed 100% you don't need a peripheral to play Fuser. So they're still they're not trying to push this as a throwback to the old days of plastic instrument-based rhythm games. They're trying to make something new, but I don't know. I need to see more of it. I'm not filled with confidence right now.
Yeah, this sounds like a bit of a... I don't know. This sounds strange to me.
Didn't they make it like a tabletop game, Harmonix, or am I getting that mixed up?
Oh, I don't know if it was Harmonix, but I know what you're talking about. Those little clip things, and you clip them together, and it made it was like a sequencer.
Drop Mix, I think it was called. I'm looking it up now, and I'm pretty sure it was Harmonix and Hasbro that worked together to make a music mixing game that used physical cards that you put down. And I know that actually ended up being fairly successful and well received, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So maybe they just want to take the idea of, hey, different people making different mixes of music is fun, so let's put it on a console. I don't know. We'll see.
But so, they say like a non-stop virtual music festival.
Yeah.
So you can go to different... You can actually go online and go and be like an audience member as well. Is that a thing? So you can have real tens of thousands of people going to your festival?
But then does that mean that Fuser is almost like an MMO version of DJ Hero?
It kind of sounds like maybe that is what they're going for. Because otherwise, what's the point otherwise? Because if you're just doing mixes, but like Jamie said, you've got no peripheral and you're just using a gamepad, it does sound kind of dull. But I guess if it's an MMO, then maybe the whole point is that it's a social setting and you get thousands of people all being in attendance and listening, and then...
Hey, listen, to bring it back around, if fucking Rare can get us all online together to fucking sail around in circles, then why can't Harmonix get us all together to listen to some music?
Maybe, and I can't see it going this way because of just it seems counterintuitive to what they'd probably do, but maybe they're putting more emphasis on the creation than the sharing right now. Maybe they're saying, hey, creating in the environment that we've let people create in is fun in itself, and they don't need to share stuff as much or have the kind of the reinforcement of other people hearing or playing their mixes. It's just the feeling of creating something yourself is unique. Like, imagine Dreams if you couldn't actually upload anything at the end of the day. and it was just saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, you sculpted something cool." What if Fuser is like saying, "Hey, you made a good mix, and now you can upload it. Keep going and have fun."
Yeah, okay. Like we said the other day, that games will start coming out with drugs in the packet. Maybe Fuser comes with some Molly, so you can all get on the festival, get in the festival mindset.
Again, I'd pick that's a day one pre-order for me. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, I think that's all the news items I got. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to kind of discuss.
Not necessarily. I want to put out a little PSA that everyone who hasn't played Shadow of the Colossus should pick up Shadow of the Colossus when it comes to PlayStation Plus in the next couple of days, because that's a very good game.
What was the other one? Was it Sonic Forces?
Sonic Forces.
I mean, that makes sense because of the Sonic movie, right? Like,
it's a fun little bundle.
Yeah, it's got to be. I prefer.
Fun little bundle.
I don't need to finish my sentence. I think Jonesy nailed it.
Yeah, Jonesy's going to put Humble Bundle under the table. So with his Jonesy's Fun Little Bundle.
Fun little bundle.
Oh God. Yeah, and I guess I would, in an ideal world, talk about the Animal Crossing Direct, but I don't care about Animal Crossing, unlike the rest of the internet.
Does anyone?
Yeah,
anyone really?
Dude, fucking go on Twitter.
No, they don't. We talking about? No one really
People
cares.
love
My brother-in-law loves.
No,
Animal
he
Crossing.
doesn't.
I promise you, he does.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, how dare you? He does.
People are crazy.
But yeah,
for that
it's a game that doesn't appeal to me. But I'm surprised it doesn't appeal to you, Jamie, because you got quite into Stardew Valley, didn't you?
I think what I like about Stardew compared to something like Animal Crossing is Stardew felt like it made time for me, where Animal Crossing feels like I have to make time for Animal Crossing. Like, it's got this weird thing where it ties into the in-game clock and your real-world clock and real-world seasons and stuff like that. And there's only so much you could do. I remember there was a story once of someone who didn't really know what Animal Crossing was or how it worked. Picked up whatever the 3DS one was called, New Leaf or maybe something like that. Picked up the 3DS copy just before they got on a transatlantic flight. So sat down for a 10-hour flight, put the cartridge in their 3DS, turned it on, and didn't realise Animal Crossing isn't a game you could just play for 10 hours, because at some point things will stop happening because you've done everything you can do in
for that
time.
Day or whatever.
For that day. Whereas by comparison, Stardew Valley is just like, go to sleep and it's morning.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's always run me up the wrong way, and maybe that's me being like picking an excuse that's to kind of like not really look into what the rest of Animal Crossing has to offer. But I also I'm not as charmed by it as everyone else. I know people love to go on Twitter and go, LOL, Tom Nook, insert meme here. But I'm like, yeah, they're fucking animals. All right. Like,
and Tom Nook's bloody evil, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you dirty animals.
Like, I know they're cute, but at some point, there's only so many times I can see Greg Miller tweet about how he's excited for Animal Crossing before I stop being excited for Animal Crossing, purely because he is.
Seems fair enough.
Completely rational.
Completely rational. Before we kind of sign off here, I just want to have a look. So we're obviously at the end of February.
Yeah.
Which is taking long enough. I'm just looking at some upcoming games for March, right? So we've got Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yes, and I think I might go back to Ori and the Blind Forest and play that just so I'm ready for Will of the Wisps, so I can give hot takes when that game comes out.
Even I think I might do the same. But here's the strange thing, because even though it's on Games Pass, I might pick it up on the Switch as kind of like, if I finish Hollow Knight while I'm in SA, I might pick it up on the Switch. Are you not worried
it'll be too, not fundamentally similar, but too kind of similar to Hollow Knight?
That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, you're hoping? Okay.
You want some more of that good Hollow Knight goodness.
Yeah, trust me, like the Hollow Knight stuff it's got me by the balls, Jonesy.
Fair enough.
Let's see what else. Neo 2 coming out on the 13th. Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal coming out on the 20th. Half-Life Alyx on the 23rd. Bleeding Edge on the 24th. And Persona 5 Royale on the 31st. It's going to be an interesting month.
Yeah, interesting.
But then after that, it's going to start getting absolutely fucking mental.
I think... I don't want to sound defeatist. I was actually talking to someone the other day and we were looking through the release schedule, much like you are now. And I kind of had the realization that it's not as mental as we thought it was going to be. Like that actually April only has a couple of things. April arguably has less than March. May has like one thing, and then we're waiting until September. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I think that things are so spread out now that
But like you look at April, okay? So you've got Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy 7 as the big ones.
But I think that's it,
right? Pretty much that's it. And then you look at May.
One thing.
Excuse me.
Pleasure.
Yes, but it is, well, kind of. It's a big thing, though. It's The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, but again, still, like, do you know what I mean? It's not mental to have one big game in a month. That's the opposite of mental.
If anything, it's good. It means we can just focus on that one big game.
I think what happened is, like, going into this year, it was like, oh shit, like, April and May, all the games, but then they've all been kind of delayed.
Right, like I think that the games that were meant to have come out by, let's say, the end of May and won't have come out by the end of May, Avengers would be in there, Cyberpunk would be in there, Roller Champions, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, Bloodlines, Vampire the Masquerade, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
To name but a few. I'm sure there are more. But
it's pretty shocking when you list them all out. There've been a lot of pushes recently.
Then you've got the rumor that if The Last of Us 2 hadn't been delayed from February to May, then Ghost of Tsushima might have been looking at around May time, and instead of having this ambiguous summer launch that it's got.
Man, yeah.
Like there's a few ways it could have gone, and we could have had another 5 or 6 pretty chunky games coming out over the next 3 months, but it's still decent. I'm not trying to.
I'm happier for it because it gives me time to actually play those games and maybe finish them.
I'm also happy because it gives me a chance to finish some of the games from the end of last year that I still haven't bloody finished.
And hopefully it also means that 2021 is filled with games that were like either delayed the full year or maybe delayed to right to the end of the year, and we're kind of bringing in a new generation of games with a surprising amount of shit to play, which is not what happened back in 2014.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're listening on your podcast platform of choice.
Chris, I'm going to break it to you. They're listening wherever they are.
Well, yeah. And if you might be watching a waveform generator on YouTube.
Lucky people.
Lucky you. Should we have a code word for the end today? I
think we probably should. Jonesy, what do you got?
I suppose we should go with that's a lovely waveform. Or something like that.
I got a better one, Jonesy.
Go on then. What
about Jonesy's fun little bundle?
Oh, okay, yeah. I like it.
Jonesy's fun little bundle.
Jonesy's fun little bundle. So yeah, be sure to check us out on our social platforms, which is Twitter and Instagram at SuperShow Pod. Tweet us or send us a picture, if you will. And hey, guys, if you like what we're doing and you want to help us out, go check out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/SuperShow. Pledge some money to us. $2 will get you access to the Discord. And, there's some other episodes of the podcast that we've put up specifically for Patreons, some behind-the-scenes stuff. We did a little bit of a Let's Play of an AI dungeon generator, which is quite fun. I think maybe we should try to do one of those again. And yeah, with that, enjoy your weekends and, be naughty to yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Whoa.
Risque.
Yeah. Risque. All right. Well, thanks for listening, mostly, and maybe kind of watching. I will see you next time.
See ya.